Welcome to the Blooming League of Original Podcast.
G'day, Struth Elsa. It's time for another crack at Around the World in 80 Plays. I'm Alfie Parker, and that's
Lizzie B.
And we're joined by the official sister act, the musical support dog, Dolly the dog.
Woof woof.
This week, Alfie and the tour of and the sister act tour crew have united in Manchester for the 14th stop on this cross-country tour, while Lizzie has been busy being brilliant at the Dominion Theatre for Sister Act, the musical in the West End. Sister Act, Sister Act, Sister Act. What a mouthful. For all our new listeners, in this series, we're exploring the UK and Ireland's wonderful arts, history and culture as we make our way from city to city with Sister Act the musical, apparently. Double Sister Act squared. So, how's this week been for you, Lizzie?
It's been lovely, thank you. We're officially open in London's glittering West End now, and we've had our press night. So, yeah, it's been go, go, go. Lots of excitement here.
I'm jealous, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit jealous.
You don't have anything to be jealous of. You're still doing the same show as me.
I am.
I just have a star-studded cast, which meant that press night was pretty iconic because we had like the whole cast of Gavin and Stacey there.
Yeah, well, I worked with Ruth before you in Dublin.
You did, to be fair. The thing is, press night was lovely, but all my mum wanted was a photo with Lamar.
Yeah, but he is gorgeous.
He is gorgeous. Those eyes.
Lamar, if you're listening, big fan. I actually subscribed to Lamar's YouTube account. Little plug for you, Lamar, for all our listeners.
Yeah, and highly recommend, because it is, as much as we take the mick, it's genuinely really interesting.
Yeah, it is. Talks about the equipment he uses and his microphone and things like that. It's very interesting. You get to know a bit about him. He's very nice.
He's just a bloody lovely man, isn't he?
And he's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous.
Any news, any announcements, update, or anything interesting since Brighton?
I mean, we obviously had to go through like the dreaded tech. So I haven't had that much of a life, if I'm being completely honest. But on the flip side, it's obviously hugely exciting to like be in my dressing room and stuff now. Dolly's all set up here. She's got a bed. She's got a new toy of a nun. It's the scary nun from the Nun horror film, though. That's the only one I could find. Ooh, spooky, scary. And, you know, I definitely think that like being here and like having my own dressing room at the Dominion Theatre is amazing and like something I only would have dreamed about. Like when I think of the shows that I've come and watched here, like namely We Will Rock You, which I was obsessed with. I saw it like 3 times. And I'm now here in my own dressing room doing a show that I love. Life's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cool. Really, really cool. But you deserve it because you're a superstar and you work very hard.
Don't flirt with me. Thank you very much.
Flirting live on air. Well, talking of dressing rooms, I'm in my own dressing room this week. It's glamorous. It's lovely. It's very long and there's no windows.
I remember it well from when me and Dolly were there for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's the same room.
It is the same room.
Yeah.
And when I was there, Dolly used to throw her water bowl across the room every day. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I'd go up in the interval and I'd have to mop up a whole bowl of water off the floor because she was being a right little teenager.
Yeah, there's no water bowls in my room. It's quite nice. Clean floors, dry floors. So yes, so you're in London. I'm in Manchester.
Yeah, and the main thing you need to talk about is the curry place next door. You know which one I mean. Bunderbust. Oh,
okay, I'll talk about it.
Absolutely unbelievable. In fact, there's loads of really nice food places near the theatre in Manchester.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice. Food-wise, it's pretty epic.
Do you remember the bubble tea place we went to last time as well? Round the back.
Oh, yeah. It's really good. Yeah, like on the side street.
Very lovely.
Yeah, that was good. Well, I actually have something written down about food, not about Bunderbust, but I'll mention.
You just love food, basically.
Love food. Don't worry. I'll go into more depth because the menu here is really good for that Bunderbust because they're doing... No, I'll talk about it later. No, I'm getting distracted. But they're doing a fusion of Indian and Chinese food at the moment.
So good.
Yeah, it's like top tier. Right, sorry, let's move on. Where is Manchester for non-UK listeners? Well, let's say it's north and then a bit west.
The thing is, everything for us is north.
Yeah. It's...
But it is northwest, you're correct.
It's northwest. You would have heard of this tour destination, I would have thought it's probably one of the biggest cities in the UK.
And mainly because of like Manchester United and Man City. So if you like football, you'll have heard of Manchester. Manchester.
Well, Wayne Rooney, Erling Haaland, some big names there. David Beckham.
Can we say some women, please?
Yes, Mary Earps.
That's for you, Nanny Sue.
Of course. Mary Earps for Man United, and then Chloe Kelly for Manchester City. There you go. Yeah, you see.
Have you got about the football in your script?
No.
Yeah.
I need to talk about that. I will do. Don't worry. Right. Where were we? Yes, Northwest. Audience reception has been very, very nice up at Manchester. It always is. It's been a bit crazy. This week, I've had to ask our company manager to put out some barriers for me. Not for me, but for the cast, because middle-aged women love Eddie Salver, and they love me so much that they want to kiss me on the cheek. Now, that's very nice.
It's because they think you're middle-aged.
I know, which is a funny one. Yes, I have been grabbed a lot and kissed at stage door a lot this week.
Get off my man. Get off my man, women of Manchester.
So there's a little barrier outside, few and far between, and nothing too sinister. It's just people that have had a drink and get carried away. Luckily, touch wood, nothing too weird. But it's just nice to have that little extra layer of protection there at stage door. So there's someone looking scary at stage door and a barrier now, all thanks to me. But yeah, audiences have been crazy, really, really good. And my accommodation, I'm staying in someone's back garden this week in a shipping container that they have converted into like a livable place. It was like their COVID project.
And you've had sausages every day.
I've had sausages because there's like a cooking stove, but there's no oven. So everything's on the hob. So I'm like living off pastas and sausages and yummy stuff.
The thing is, you're saying that like you use an oven all the time, but you always live off pasta and sausages.
Oh, I can't have pizza this week, but there is a lovely pizza shop around the corner that does a lovely Donna meat calzone.
You can get microwave pizzas.
Yeah, they're not the same. The cheese always runs off on that reflective little thing.
I quite like a Chicago Town microwave pizza.
This episode is sponsored by Chicago Town.
Oh, I wish.
It's not.
Imagine if we could get a sponsorship from Chicago Town.
That would be unreal, actually. Aaron, if you're listening, Aaron, live coming in, he's mortified by the idea of microwave pizza. You just haven't tried it, Aaron.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Aaron also said for our listeners that he didn't like Greg's pizza, and frankly, it's iconic. So,
especially in Manchester, not as much as Newcastle, obviously, but the Northerners love a Greg's.
Greg's on every corner. Oh, we love a well, we love a Greg's up here. I'm Northern now because I've been here a week. But no, yeah. So my digs are lovely. I'd love to stay there again at some point, but we'll see. We'll see if they're available. Right now, moving on to the tour now. This week, Alfie and the tour have been living like fairy tale royalty at the Palace Theatre. That is it, the Palace. Well, let me get up Notepad. Let me tell you about the Palace in Manchester. The Palace Theatre was originally known as the Grand Old Lady of Oxford Street. It opened on the 18th of May, 1891, having been designed by the architect Alfred Derbyshire at the cost of £40,500.
Another Alfred, eh?
Yeah, it's a great name. Yeah, so that's £40,500.
What's that in today's money?
Well, this was 1891, so that's got to be millions, right?
Let's have a look. What was it?
40,500.
In 1891?
Yeah.
1891 money worth today. An inflation rate of 3.89% per year. Let's have a look. Inflation calculator.
It's going to be a lot.
Goods and services costing. What was it? Here we go. Spencer's done it.
There we go. Spencer's done it. Yeah, 6 million.
Just to design it?
Yeah, designed by the architect at a cost of, I guess that must have been to build as well, surely. Yeah, so £6.5 million today, but it was £40,500. The Palace Theatre was redecorated and altered in 1896 to the designs of the renowned theatre architect Frank Matcham.
Hey, we love you, Frank. We do.
And he again worked on some improvements to the theatre in 1899.
Alfie's favourite thing to do at warm-up is just to look up and go, is this a Matcham theatre?
Well, it's funny, actually, because I've got something about Frank here. Frank Matcham was an English architect who specialised in the design of theatres and music halls. He designed at least 80 theatres and renovated many more.
I have actually told that fact before.
Sorry.
So
he died in like 1940, didn't he?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that bit about our Frank.
But that's very impressive. You know,
he was a legend.
He's designing a couple of theatres a year.
What have you done with your life? Do you know what I mean?
More about the Palace Theatre.
1920, he died.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 1920. Short life, and he achieved a lot.
To be fair, he was like 66.
I guess that's quite good innings for that time.
So actually, for that time, it's pretty good.
And he died in Southend, which is where this podcast started.
Are you going to credit Aaron with these, or are you just going to say it as if?
That's Aaron, the producer, that's come up with all of that information. Just about the dates and stuff.
Also, I'm so sorry to interrupt, and Aaron, keep this in if you want, but Dolly has just done the most disgusting fart in my dressing room. And because I've got fans on, it absolutely stinks.
Right, are we keeping that in?
That is awful.
And credit to Spencer's maths as well. And apologies for my fiance and our dog.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. It's literally like in the back of my throat.
Right.
Oh, God.
Can you hear that tannoy?
No, it's fine. I don't need to pause. I'm glad you guys can't smell it, because that is honestly awful. And she's asleep as well. So she's done it in her sleep.
Great.
You. Believe me, she's just a gassy dog. Alfie will tell you. This isn't unusual.
She gets it from her mum.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
You can't hear all of that. There's someone on the stage.
No, can you just go on with it?
Yeah, no worries. The capacity of the theatre is 19,055. No, it's not. I can't read.
I don't think it's 19,000, is it?
1,955.
You're not at the O2.
I only play arenas now, as Eddie Salvo. 1,955. That's a typo, my end. Yeah, it will probably come as no surprise to you to hear that Manchester's Palace Theatre is actually home to a rather ghostly manifestation known as the Grey Lady. The story of the Grey Lady is rather simple. A cleaner died in the building many years ago and now can be seen drifting in the halls on stage, sometimes in a grey mist.
Sweeping as she goes.
Reports claim that guests have seen the figure sitting in the corner of the ladies' toilets.
How lovely. Imagine you come back from the dead and you're condemned to the ladies' toilets.
I felt bad, but I felt like I had to keep that in. It's a shame.
Poor lady.
So yeah, Frank Matcham as well. I hope she's all right. As a performer, being on the stage of the Manchester Palace, it's a really cool theatre. The acoustics are great. The sound's great. It's huge. It goes up and up and up. It's one of those venues where you're like, wow, I feel like I am playing to 19,500 people.
You're so annoying.
It is a great space. I really enjoy this.
Also, I bet sometimes you're just on that stage and you think, I cannot believe that Lizzie B has trodden these boards.
It's a real pinch me moment, do you know?
I bet.
Right. My sources.
Ketchup? Mayo?
No, these are my sources. The ENO.org, manchestersfinest.co.uk, Wikipedia.
ENO? English National Opera?
It was about Frank Matcham.
Do you know who else is linked to the ENO?
manchestertheatrehistory.co.uk.
I think there's someone here who knows the ENO quite well.
Is that when you played Tracy Turnblad at the Coliseum?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
This isn't about you. This is my segment.
No.
And something else I should talk about when it comes to Manchester is the food. Iconic food, Bunderbuss next door. We have a lovely Indian street food. At the moment, their menu is like kind of collaborating and fusing Indian and Chinese cuisine together. It's very nice.
It's unbelievable.
I went there once this week. I've also been to Fat Pat's. I would recommend Fat Pat's.
What do you call me?
With Sherry Lynham, soon to be married, so she will not be called that anymore. She's also in the show. She'll be called Sherry Haynes. But yes, we had big sandwiches. I recommend Fat Pat's. It's down an alleyway and they give you a sandwich out a window. It looks like a dodgy drug deal, but the food is very, very nice. And it's all above board, I should say. And if you check our social medias, you'll find exclusive photographs of many of the theatres we visit, courtesy of Rocky Horror Show legend Christian Lavercombe, who performed as Riff Raff more times than I've had Greg's. Now, you see, Aaron writes that part of the script, so I have to disagree. I don't think he's done that many shows in comparison to how many times I've had Greg's. I must have had Greg's. Surely it's got to be 100,000 times. We'll leave it up to Spencer. He does the maths. But before we get on to this week's tour feature and find out what Dolly got up to since I last saw her, we're going to take a short ad break.
G'day listeners, Aaron here, and we're back with another round of Bloop Network news. And this week I'm joined by Mr. J-Wags. How's it going?
Hello! Things are going great up here in New York. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Have you noticed like every time I host, my arms do a Muppet thing?
Oh yeah, it's just like yeah.
Yay!
It just shows excitement. It doesn't come across as much on radio.
Yeah. No, it doesn't, because obviously, thankfully, people don't get to see it. But anyways, we're here with this week's news update on all things Bloop Network. Now, start off with 80 plays. And Lizzie B has just finished up her run, another run, I think her fourth contract on I don't want to get murdered or slaughtered or cancelled, in London's West End with Sister Act, the musical. So congratulations to Queen Lizzie and the team for that. And also to friend of the show, Glenn Slater, as well. And also, Alfie Parker is still on the road. I think he's got 3 more stops. So I think they're finishing up in Liverpool.
For UK and Australia tours, are they also roughly a year? Because I know in the US that tends to be like a standard contract for a tour. But I also know that the UK is much smaller geographically than Australia and the US.
Well, actually, funnily enough, on this tour, it's been going for a year and something, like a year and a half, I think, or a year and 3 months. 33 stops all up. So it's only a week or so or sometimes 2 weeks, but mostly it's a week in each stop. Whereas Australia, typically a big tour like that will come here for a minimum of about 3 months, and that'll be longer in Melbourne.
So it's more of a sit down each time.
Yeah, it's more of a sit down. And Alfie will be finishing up in Liverpool at the start of October with Sister Act. So if you're in the UK, get to see it, because it is a fantastic production and Alfie is a superstar. Anyways, now what have you got going on, Mr. J-Wags?
Well, currently I am music directing, sound designing, and teaching at the Second City, New York City. So if you are in New York City and you are interested in some of the best sketch comedy in the world, come on out. I'm also understudying the main stage show, Ruthless Acts of Kindness, and I've been in for that show over a dozen times at this point. So if you come on out, you could see me behind the keys. And of course, anyone who's looking to learn from Mr. J-Wags can take one of my classes. This term I'm teaching Improv 1 and Conservatory 1, which means it's an archive show based on scenes from the Second City's previous 65 years. So that'll be fun coming up. Also, I've got that folk musical I've been working on with my partner, Sarah and the Seed, and we are doing a giant fundraising drive. So if anyone is psyched about funding new and independent musicals, head on out to sarahandtheseed.com. That's the name Sarah with an H at the end, sarahandtheseed.com. And we have a financial sponsorship through Island Lens, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. So if you are in the US and you donate, all of your donations will be tax deductible.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of my time. Incorporating a business is hard, especially in New York City. We definitely could have picked an easier metro area to try to incorporate in, but we're here. We've done it. We have an LLC. Our liability is limited.
Yep, wonderful. And it is a really good show. I've listened to it a couple of times now, and
Thank you.
I hope to one day get my hands on the script and direct it. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Okay.
Anyways, and you've also got the dohyo.
Oh, yes. For those of you who love sumo wrestling and this voice, you will definitely want to check out my YouTube channel, the Mr. J-Wags channel, and our flagship show, The Dohyo Hot Sumo Talk, where local celebrity Mr. J-Wags talks about sumo topics of the day and puts them in a historical context. We just dropped a huge episode about outlier Yokozuna runs. So Yokozuna is the top rank of sumo, and we have been working to find out what the standard is for promotion over time. So the last episode on this, we focused on the stats, and this one we are focusing on the stories. So it ends up being, I think, maybe our longest episode we've ever done. It's like over 27 minutes. Took a ton of research, and feedback seems to be great on it so far.
I did start it and I realized that I hadn't watched the weeks before, so I have to go back and watch that one, and I did.
Watch as many of them as you want.
Yes, no, I do.
In order, different devices.
With my coffees in the morning, and if there's a new dohyo, or if I have a couple of YouTube channels that I watch. Okay, now, so Spencer hasn't got any news at the moment that he can announce. Keyword can. So there are things maybe in the works that hopefully he can announce very soon. If you've been listening to his podcast and the EGOT goes to, he is still looking for panelists for the Emmy Awards, the Grammy Awards, and the Oscars. So obviously theatre is his thing, but apparently finding TV, music, and film fans amongst theatre people is pretty hard. So if you're listening out there and you want to get involved in podcasting, hit Spencer up on the social media.
I'm a bit of a film buff, but I haven't
Yep.
like it's sort of like my baseball love. Like in the past 10 years, I haven't really kept up with all the new people and the new players.
Yep.
But it's like I'm like, oh, okay, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya. Sure, these are people now who I have to know.
Yep.
Now we know.
Yep. No, I'm the same.
What is a Glenn Powell? I'm just figuring that out.
I don't know who Glenn Powell is still. And actually, I do know him from Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous. And if you want to tell the listeners what poster is actually on the wall behind my shoulder here.
Lost World with number 2.
Yeah.
We're talking the second one. Okay,
Yes.
I remember. I saw that in a drive-in. That's how long ago I saw that one.
I love that movie so much. I know it's pretty not loved, but I don't care. I love it. Yeah, so if you're into film, TV, and music, it's to cover the Emmys, Grammys, and Oscars. So the format's going to be a little bit different to the Tony Awards, obviously. But yes, so please get in contact with Spencer.
We are looking to expand the team here at Thrash and Treasure. So if you ever thought you too could talk to one of us and a special guest for 90 minutes at a time, we are looking for you, especially if you are interested in heavy metal, are a part of heavy metal in any way, have been in a metal band. We would love to get your specific experience on the show.
We're looking for 1 or 2 people to join. So email us at networkbloop@gmail.com. and let us know your interests. We've had a couple of interested parties so far, so we're going to go through and sort of screen everyone, see who bounces off us well, who can keep up with me and Jonathan, basically.
We're just so good at this.
Yeah.
We're so good.
So that's going to be really weird. I'll have to put that right at the very end of the episode. Yeah, anyways, I think that's probably about it. It's a very messy news, as always.
Yes, come to Second City, New York. I'm doing a show every other Monday called Second City Presents with a celebrity guest. We had Scott Adsit and Tammy Sager. We've had Padma Lakshmi, like every week. Every time we do it, a new guest.
And lastly, if you ever wanted to learn how to sing or act from Lizzie B herself, be sure to follow her on socials, check below for the details, and you can actually sign up for online lessons, and there's also a Heather's intensive for those in the UK. So if you want to learn, you got to learn from the very best, and Lizzie B is one of the very best. Anyways, back to the episode.
And we're back with Around the World in 80 Plays. I'm Alfie Parker, and that's...
Lizzie B.
And half of us is coming to you live to tape from Manchester, England, our latest stop on the Sister Act, the musical UK and Ireland tour. It's our tour feature, Celebrity Visitors. Da, 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 da.
You've got a celebrity visitor, Alf.
No, you don't count.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No, you are a celebrity. You're a big celebrity to me.
Thanks.
To be fair, in Brighton, we've had people stop and say, "Are you Lizzie B?"
And what do they say to you?
"Oh, I saw you in Sister Act. You're already Salva. You're amazing."
Do they?
"I saw you in the original cast of School of Rock." That's what some of them said that before.
I must not have been with you on those occasions.
No, I think it was just me. I think
Right.
just me on my own.
Right.
My mum. Local big celebrities on tour stops.
Well, who have you got as Mother Superior at the moment, Alf?
Sue Cleaver.
Yeah, she's a big celeb in Manchester because...
She as well, because of Coronation Street.
Exactly.
Sue's a great Mother Superior. I love your trumpet.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for the press night in Manchester this week, we've had a lot of the cast of Corrie come and watch, including Jodie Preninger.
Never heard of her. Joking, Jodie. Love you. You're one of my besties.
I don't know Deb's real name. Oh, he's an icon, but I can't remember his actual name. He's really good in it. He's been in it years.
Do you want to Google it?
Yeah, give me one sec. Tap it away. Jimmy Harkinshin. I apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he's an absolute icon. What a guy. I met him, so that's about as celebrity as it gets, I'd say. Where's my notes? There you go. I shouldn't have tried to type in Dev. I've lost all my notes. Yeah, I'm back. We had a lot of the cast of Corrie come and watch, including Jodie, so that was really lovely. How does that compare to like the opening night in London, Lizzie?
Yeah, we had a few celebs there, I guess. You know, whole cast of Gavin and Stacey, which is massive for me because Alfie will tell you I am a super fan. I just think they're all brilliant and they all seemed lovely. Obviously, we've got quite a lot of celebs in the cast, so we had sort of various other celebrities and things there, but I think Gavin and Stacey for me was the biggest. And then, like I said, my mum just cared about seeing Lamar, but I see him every day, so it's probably slightly different for me.
I see him every day on his YouTube account, to be fair.
Yeah, because you're a stalker.
Yeah, absolutely. Celebrity reactions to the show, normally it goes down very well.
Yeah, it's been really positive. I mean, people like Leslie Joseph, who've been in it for a while, like her friends have seen it multiple times now and are really supportive and love it. And our director, Bill Buckhurst, his wife Sian, is quite a famous actor. She's in, is it called Blue Line on BBC or Blue Light? It's like a police drama.
Is it old or is it new?
No, it's new. Blue Light.
I got confused there with Thin Blue Line.
No. It's like a really famous new police drama. Here you go. For 3 police recruits in Belfast, the pressure is immense. Facing criminal gangs and divided communities, they don't know who to trust. The odds are they won't all make it.
Blimey.
And it's meant to be amazing. And Bill's wife, Sian, is the lead in it. And I remember seeing her in Hammersmith and she was absolutely lovely. And then I saw her at this press night as well. And she was just equally as lovely. And I think for me, when it's actors that I really respect as well and who I think their work is amazing, that's when I'm kind of like, that means a huge amount to me because like you're brilliant at your job. So for you to compliment me is very meaningful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Who's the most famous visitor you've had to Sister Act?
I mean, I think when Alan Menken came, it was huge.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then I think probably in terms of like level of fame, when Jennifer Saunders was in it, that's when we had sort of really, really famous people like Joanna Lumley, Kathy Burke, and Beverly is obviously friends of people like Kelly Holmes and stuff like that. So in terms of kind of like British celebrities, we've had some really top-notch people come to visit. Kathy Burke was a big one for me. I just think she's amazing.
Someone you've missed off, I think our listeners from all over the globe will know who came to watch the show. Well, Lulu.
She did. You need to tell the Lulu story, Al.
What story? She picked me out.
About how much she loved you. Yeah.
Lulu loved my performance. She complimented my bow especially and said she loved it when I beveled. Don't actually bevel, but for you, Lulu, I do now. She loved it when I kind of opened my jacket. Big fan of my work. Thank you, Lulu.
She actually was obsessed with Alfie. And it was really funny because we were all on stage and she came on. She went round every single other principal actor in the cast and complimented them and didn't say a word to me.
But she's a big fan.
I was waiting there like, oh, maybe she's saving me till last.
No.
And then all it was Eddie, Eddie, Eddie.
Sorry about it. What can I say? Bit of a star. Lulu was rumoured to do our show as well, actually, at one point. There were talks of her wanting...
Yeah, but apparently she was asking for £1 million a week.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's all rumours. Lulu would have been a great Mother Superior, I'm sure.
I was just desperate for here within these walls.
Do you have any advice that you've received from a celebrity, or is there any advice that you would give when talking to a celebrity or anything like that?
I mean, we've had such a range of celebrities that have come to see the show. And like I said, no offence to any celebrities out there, but there are some whose opinions I would value a lot more highly than others. And it's very nice when you can sort of like have a normal conversation with them. But I don't necessarily think any of them have like given advice because I think they know that we're professionals as well. You know, I don't think anyone's kind of like been condescending or anything.
No, I think the main takeaway is that if you are going to talk to someone, you know, both of us now have worked with Ruth Jones. You're going to work with her for a much longer period of time, you know, because you're going to get to know her a lot more than what I do, for instance. But I think it's important that everyone's there for the same reason. So we're all like just doing work. And I think people really appreciate it when you just talk to them like a normal person. I think because people would see Ruth and go, oh, it's Nessa from Gavin and Stacey. I really know, you know, people will assume that they really know her. She's so far away from that character because she's being a character, that she's not being Nessa. She's not Nessa. So you just treat her like you would anyone else, really.
Yeah, and I think like in terms of celebrities, for me, it's the people who I am working with who I probably would go to for advice. Like I have absolutely asked Beverly for advice, like with my voice and with my health and stuff like that, because she is a machine. And like, you have to think like people like Beverly, who've been in this industry longer than I've been alive, they know what it takes to stay healthy, to stay relevant, to stay at the top of your game. And I get free advice from her.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm very lucky that all of the ones who I've worked with on this job, at least, have been absolutely lovely.
That's a nice way to finish that. Very good.
Thanks.
Well, now it's time for the Dolly feature. Yeah, again, what have you done this week? Have you managed to do anything? Because obviously, because you're opening the show.
Well, yeah, we haven't necessarily done anything, but she's settled into the theatre really well. And what's really nice that's different to tour is that she's got a proper setup here. So I've like bought her a permanent bed, I've bought her permanent bowls, all of this stuff, so that she is going to feel really settled here, because it is going to be a lot for her. She's going to have to commute every day with me, you know, especially at the moment with tech and stuff. The days have been really long, but she's doing brilliantly. And I know that she likes being here, and everyone likes having her here. So it's mutually beneficial. And, you know, I think she's just happy to be where I am.
Is there anything that jumps out? Did you see anyone really interesting? Did you do anything slightly different? Did you anything at all? Did you learn anything? Did you make anything?
Are you trying to be annoying?
How was that annoying?
It's just quite aggressive.
Oh, but we'll carry on. Let's not fight in front of the viewers, listeners.
Well, no, is the answer, because it's been a really stressful couple of weeks, because I've barely had time to do anything, let alone have any attention to give her. But like I said, being able to have her at work is much better for both of us, because she gets to be with me all the time, and everyone at work gets to see her, which I know everyone like really appreciates.
Yeah, absolutely.
She gets loads of treats, loads of attention. She's just a bit of an icon, really.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be times where you're having a Mr. Whippy ice cream in the dressing room, and
yeah, you know how it is.
Girls.
Yeah, don't need that stinky daddy.
It's nice to be able to just know that you're both happier because you've got that routine. It's much easier for Dolly to have that routine, and you love having the dog with you, so it's nice.
Yeah, I do. She's my everything.
I mean, I love having the dog with me as well, but it's fine. But there are some venues where Dolly will be with me, so then that Dolly feature, we will get up to stuff, I'm sure. I'll drag her out.
It's different for you because you're not having to commute or do normal life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Though I think a lot of people think when you're on tour, you're in this big bubble where it's make believe, it's not real. Your life isn't real. I'm staying in a shipping container this week. Next week I might be in someone's spare room, or like some people stay in like uni halls, and then it's really varied. And you do your washing at the theatre and you see the same people every day, and it's not real life. You don't worry about anything that you would normally at home. You worry about different things, but yeah, it's different. It's a funny old feeling, really. It's hard to explain. But the main takeaway is I'm glad that you and Dolly are going to have a lovely time.
I can't really explain it. I haven't got the words.
Don't go down the mines, Dad.
Not this.
Well, I think that's about it for this week's episode. When we return from hiatus, I'm going to pop off to Cork, while Lizzie will be wining and dining around London while in the West End at the Dominion Theatre. They're both as glamorous.
Definitely.
I'm in Cork. Lizzie's wining and dining at the Dominion in the West End. You can find us on our social medias. 80 Plays Podcast. That's all one word with the number 8080. So 8080 Plays Podcast.
And did you know that you can purchase our theme song, Blue Sky, by Australian band Walken? Yep, for only $1 US. Sorry about that. You can help support our show and own the full track. All thanks to Drew and the boys of Walken. So thank you to them, because we're truly grateful for the support. And it's a brilliant song. So if you go to www.thetonistantales.com/bookstore, you'll see our logo where you can buy your own MP3 of Blue Sky, which will help us fund this epic adventure across the UK and Ireland. Plus, we can buy Dolly some treats along the way, only for $1 US, baby. And shout out to Drew, who donated the song, because we hear he's been listening every week in between his workday naps.
Thanks, Drew. Love you. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, you can email us at 80playspodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. 80, again, playspodcast@gmail.com. But for now, Lizzie, crochet, you stay.
Alfie, mustache away.
It's time to say goodbye. Hesi ci non homai veduto e vissuto conti adesso si li vivrò. Wait!